Plunder. Raid. There must be some villagers around. Oh, speaking of villagers. Hey, what's this? I'm locked out of the game. Can't believe it. Must be some pay to win or something here. But I know a trick, yeah. "60% of the time, it works every time." So, we have some villagers, and they probably have a village to pillage. It rhymes with grimes and yes, anyway, this is Villagers from designer Håkon Holgaard. It's strange, he has a Norwegian name, but only double letters, like it's international or something. I don't know. This is a prototype, so what you see here is not what you get in the Kickstarter. Kickstarter has a smaller box and a better box, I think, but that's anywho. So these components are definitely not final, especially these coins here. But here is Villagers, and this is a rule booklet. Rules, who need that? Yeah. I do actually. So this game goes for 2 to 5 players, but there is also a solo mode coming out, which I'm looking forward to try. Anyway, this is a setup for 4 players. I am not going to teach you the rules here, because there are enough videos already that teach you the rules, but I will tell you the flow of the game and jump right to my conclusion afterwards. So here you have each player's cards. You have a first player with this card here, some founders, each player has 1 founder, and this turn reference here, which also has a play area to keep order of your cards. In the middle here you have the road, and here we have cards which can be drafted to your village. These cards here with the arrow are the starter cards, so they are always the same and the order doesn't matter. Then we have these cards which are shuffled and totally random. So this deck here could be, all special cards, could be anything. So they kind of indicate what kind of card it is, but not which exactly it is. So this is a special card, but you see they have 3 different kinds of cards. Now these are of course shuffled and placed randomly, so you have no idea what is in these decks here. There are some cards that are left outside the game. Now each round we start with a draft phase, where we draft cards from this village and put here on the play area, you can do it here. And we go around the table and we immediately fill up any missing cards. So we just do this very quickly. Yeah. And so forth, until all players have drafted all their cards. Yes, you can even draft from this face down pile here. So if I see, oh, hey, I want some hay, I just take this card and put here for all to see. And now I have drafted my stuff. So let's go with this and this. So this is a draft phase, and we have some rules about some money on here, but whatever. The next phase, we all take the cards on our hands, together with the starting cards we had in the beginning of the game. And now there's a build phase. Now we can build 2 stuff, plus 1 for each of these symbols here we have on our cards. Now we just build, we can build 1, 2, and there's some rules about the lock. That's kind of special, so I'm gonna explain the lock. Now this card has a keychain on it with the number 10. The number inside did kind of reference how many cards in the game that will use the blacksmith. And by that I mean this one, the jeweler. You see here in the middle, it requires a blacksmith. So to play the jeweler, first you need to have this chain up here, then you need to pay the blacksmith. Now depending on who owns the blacksmith, you need to pay or get money. And it says on this card here, if the unlocker, this one, is in another player's village, over here, you take from your money pile and put on this card. Otherwise, if it is not anywhere, it's still haven't been drafted yet, you pay this money from your stash to the bank. Or if you have a blacksmith and you play this, you take 2 money from the bank and put on the blacksmith. So it's a win-win if you have the card yourself. And the higher the number here, the higher the chances are that you will get paid during the game for having that card alone. So at first the padlock was kind of counterintuitive because a lock is a lock, right? And you can just pay money to open the lock. So the symbol is kind of counterintuitive, but it makes sense, the connection. Maybe it should be a chain or something, a link. The padlock just seemed a bit wrong. But I am going off track here. Let's go back to the game. When it's build phase, we go around the table as normal from the top here. And we can play 2 cards plus any more if you have any of these symbols here. So I just check my hand, which cards do I want to buy or build. And then I choose up to 2 of them, because right now I don't have any buildings here, any of those symbols. So I will choose to build this one, and I will choose to play, well, Chandler maybe, because Chandler Bing is the best. Anyone got the reference? Or I'm just too old? I think I'm just too old. Anyway, I built those 2, but this one, see here, it requires a miner. Not a underage, but an actual miner that can mine the mines. Now, to do that, I can discard cards from my hand. So let's say I'm just gonna discard this swineherd here, anywhere. Then I can draft any basic card, and that's Hayer, Miner, or Lumberjack. I'm gonna draft a Miner, put it here, and then I can build this on top here. Now, keep in mind though, I play this here in the play area to differentiate from this one, because if I build this first, that doesn't mean I can build more. No, I have to put all the cards down here just to make sure I don't overbuild. But now I can build the Mason on the Miner and the Chandler just anywhere. And this one will unlock more cards, and this one will make me build more in the next round. And unfortunately I have no food here. Food is this. So the founder says if I have no food at the end of the building phase, no cards and food, I have to do this. And I will lose some income in the market phase. When all players have built, we check the markets. Are they revealed? No. Then we just do another round. The first player goes around and we continue. Now, if this deck here had been empty during the draft phase, we would go to market now. And we get income based on our cards. All the gold symbols on the cards will get you money, and money will allow you to get, well, pay stuff. And those are actually victory points as well. So money and victory points, same thing. But money is also important to unlock things, and you can't just easily get money here. You have to have some sort of income. And, well, money isn't very tight, but you can lock it up if you are too greedy with buying stuff that you can't afford because other players has the keychain character and you don't. Now, when the market phase is done, we continue as normal, and when this deck here is removed and we have the second market phase, we do that, and then the game is over. And that will also get you gold for the silver. Yeah. So the flow of the game is very simple to get into. Draft cards, build cards, and start all over. And you can easily see on the cards what you get and what symbols is required and how you need to build stuff. I think the graphics on the cards is great, even though they all have doodly eyes. I still like the graphic. It kind of reminds me of Glory to Rome, the black box edition. Still, it's better. This is more artistic than the Glory to Rome. It's more simplistic. So this one has nice artwork. So everything on the cards are clear. The money cards are clear, the keychain are clear, the padlocks are clear, the color is clear. So everything is very clear on the cards. However, there are some minor quirks which I just have to mention, like the padlock. It kind of feels counterintuitive that you have a lock that you can just pay to open without the key. And if you have the key, you get some money, and yeah, kind of a strange thing, but I get it. It's just hard to just have to oversee it's not a lock there. It's just a paywall. Then we have a limitation in the build phase, because there's always a maximum of 5 things you can build. Even though we have a lot of food, you can only draft 5 cards. Even though we have many buildings, you can only build 5 buildings. But then we have the red cards, and they don't go against the build limit, but they do go against the max 5 limit. So if you have like 5 buildings, you can build 6 buildings. You can build, well, 5 buildings, but then you cannot play any more red cards. But if you could play, let's say, 3 buildings, you can play 3 buildings and a red card, so 4. So it's a limitation that's kind of, it feels strange, But I get it. It just needs to be explained. I had to go through the rules a couple of times just to get that thing right. I think it's right. If not, please comment and just tell me I'm wrong, because that will make it so much easier in the future to play the game. Just by looking at the cards, you can easily tell what they do. This one gives you 1 more food for drafting and 2 gold at the market phase. This one requires a glass blower, or well, you can unlock it anyway, and gives you 14 gold each time. Also, it is in the third in the chain, which requires grapes and vintner, and then this wine trader at the end. This monk has special rules, which is on here. Lumberjack can have 2 cards on him, and it's just a base character, just like the single here. It's also a base level card. Now this one, log, says you get 1 silver per card. What is this? Also, it requires a lumberjack, so this one needs to be on here. Easy. This one doesn't need to be on anything, can unlock stuff and gives you 2 money in the market phase. This one requires a blacksmith and gives you 20 money, but it needs to be on a spelunker, which needs to be on a seeker, which needs to be on a miner. So everything is clear. This one gives you 3 silver per pair of these symbols here. So all the cards are very easy to identify what they actually do. All in all, I do enjoy this game a lot, actually. It's very enjoyable, it's fast, it is easy to explain, and everything is kind of intuitive, as long as you just explain why it's not intuitive with the padlocks and symbols, but whatever. It flows very nice, the turns go very fast, there's very little downtime, and when the game is over, you feel, I feel I made some good choices here. However, if you know the cards in the game, you will have a benefit over the other players, because knowing what cards exist in the game and how many copies there are, that is kind of important information to play the odds and know what the odds are. Because when you play, like, you have one here, this spelunker here, you need to know that this requires a miner, which is easy to get, but it also requires a seeker and this spelunker itself, and it can even have a jeweler on top. But if you didn't pay attention, the jeweler, which is only 1 copy of, I think, is already gone in the beginning. You didn't pay attention then, because it was too much to take in. So you kind of spent this in hopes of getting the jeweler, and then you don't get it. So knowing the cards here is kind of important, but it is not a requirement. If all players have no knowledge of the cards, you can have a lucky player getting a win the first time. But the second time around, people will kind of have a feeling for what is in the game, and that will make it a lot better to play. Now, the game has rules for 2 players, which is kind of just this drafting area here, but it works nicely. It also works with 3 and 4 and 5 players, and with 5 players you have more cards in the deck. So I'm looking forward to playing the solo game, and I'm gonna make a new video for that one. But now for this, it's a thumbs up from me. It's very nice game. It has nice graphics and nice playability, and you can see some traces of it being a first design, but those are so minor that I won't even bother to take them as a negative. It is a fun game, so highly recommended villagers. Okay, thank you for now. I'm going to invade these 4 villages now and get a lot of loot and maybe some new wives and stuff. So see you on the other side. And have fun gaming, because gaming is better than pillaging. We'll learn that the hard way. What did we?